All right, y'all, so this upload is going to be a little bit different than what we're normally used to. Within the last few days, there's been a bit of controversy or drama, I would say, surrounding Supercell, and it's not about Brawl Stars. It's actually about Clash Royale specifically. I was definitely hemming and hawing whether or not I would talk about it in a video, but seeing that, I've been a Supercell content creator for years, since 2017. I've played literally every single game that they've created, even though we focus on Brawl Stars here on the channel. Obviously, I'm a pretty dang big fan of Supercell. And honestly, I don't think Supercell has been embroiled with actual cultural internet drama this big in a very long time, if not ever. So I think it's applicable to talk about it, that's for sure. So to kick things off, the boiling over point of this drama started off with the release of a blog post that Ilka ended up announcing, the CEO of Supercell. He does this annually, basically recapping how 2025 went with Supercell and the development of all of their games. We have this post here from Supercell saying, between Gregorian New Year and Lunar New Year, there's the Supercell Right and New Beginnings, our CEO Ilka's annual blog post, which if we take a look at some of the statistics here, just to give you guys kind of a little baseline as to how this is going. We have 658 likes, 611,000 views, and definitely a lot of comments, which is kind of concerning here. It's getting traction for the opposite reasons as they wanted here, is what I'm trying to say. So before we dive into the media storm on socials going on right now about Clash Royale, as for the build up, basically what's been going down with Clash Royale here recently, if you guys didn't know, Jinxy has been a fan of Clash Royale since it basically came out, and he ended up making content for a very, very long time over Clash Royale because he came back to the game with the introduction of Evos, content coming out pretty dang regularly, like new champions and all that good stuff. He was enjoying the game, but then things kind of changed with the release of Heroes and level 16. I don't know if you guys have been watching a lot of Clash Royale content, or if you are just specifically Brawl Stars. Basically, with this release, it got a lot of people with a very sour taste in their mouth, especially on the high of Jinxy's bringing over the crazy popularity that he has as one of the biggest content creators there is in the world, right? Around the time Jinxy started creating content on Clash Royale, and I don't say this lightly, it was a lot of content. He was probably in it for a year as a fan of the game for a very, very long time, and he even got a creator code and all that jazz. He was pumping out content and doing a lot for the community, hosting huge tournaments, bringing in other huge content creators like Mr. Beast, IShowSpeed to play the game with him. It got a lot of eyes on Clash Royale, which in my opinion is largely, if not the main driving factor as to why they showed this huge peak. If you take a look at some of these statistics for Brawl Stars and Clash Royale, you'll notice that there was a lot of recent peaks for the game. We have Dandy showcasing this, and I agree with the sentiment a lot here. Brawl Stars' peak came from some really interesting updates that they started to introduce, kind of a different form of updates that was more community driven to get the word of mouth back out of Brawl Stars, to get people playing the game, which definitely attributed to their peak. We definitely came down from it, but are starting to go back up. But from my opinion, the peak from Clash Royale was largely different than Brawl Stars' peak in popularity. I think the main driving factor, if not the main driving factor, the 100% reason, was because of Jinxy's impact on the game. I've been talking to a lot of content creators out there, or just people in general, about what this peak could have been from, right? Clash Royale. It's hard to, in the back of your mind, just being could one individual with a huge following do this for an individual game, one game, And I thought it could have been a collection of the two. Maybe Clash Royale was coming out with some decent updates and whatnot. But judging on the track record of updates from Clash Royale and what they've been doing for the last few years, I would say this was 99% because of Jinxy, the peak of it. And I think most others in the community, content creators who even cover Clash Royale, Brawl Stars content creators, anyone even objectively looking from the outside in, can agree with me on that. I think Jinxy had a huge impact on Clash Royale's boom in popularity. Now, like I said before, with the introduction of level 16 as well as Heroes, Jinxy eventually quit making content on the game because, rightfully so, I feel like the update was not at a good time, and they definitely kind of dropped the ball on that update in general, especially with the influence that Jinxy brought to the game. They kind of botched the opportunity. But then it leads us to, in my opinion, the biggest drama in Supercell history, getting the most people talking on social media here ever, right? With the release of that blog post from Ilka, it is rightfully so that Jinxy is feeling a little bit saddened on what the Clash Royale team is attributing to the success of this most recent growth here. We have here, last year I called Brawl Stars' growth historic. Now I'm about to use the same word for Clash Royale. Royale's re-engagement players doubled. New players grew from 500%. Every major measure of playtime engagement grew significantly. And maybe most importantly, Clash Royale once again became the game to play with friends around the world. It felt like 2016 again. Has it really been 10 years? Moving on, I want to take a moment to celebrate this because what happened deserves celebrating. A game approaching its 10th year doesn't just hold on, it exploded. That's extraordinarily rare in the industry. It's proof of what's possible when a talented team relentlessly focuses on making things better for players. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about your boy, but I don't love dipping my toes into negativity or drama or anything like that, but I could definitely see this being a gut punch to Jinxy here, right? I think a lot of the time gaming companies fail to understand the impact that content creators actually have on their game, especially if we're talking about huge content creators that kind of overstep the whole hold or the niche genre that is Supercell. We all know there's a lot of content creators out there, and basically from my arm extension, the other like Brawl Stars content creators and the Clash Royale content creators, these content creators would have a hard time jumping into like other content. When we're talking like classes of Jinxy, these are players who can play any game that they'd like and be successful doing so, right? They can do whatever they want, which it's kind of rare to have a creator like that long term in a game for like Supercell. That could be a reason why they are a little bit, or reading the metrics a bit wrong. Maybe they think the updates that they've created in recent times actually led to the success, or is like an actual contributing factor to the success of this crazy rise. But I kid you not, content creators do so much for games. It is insane. And I think it's super important for game companies and people in the industry to realize that. I think Brawl Stars has a good hold on that. They've known that from a very early on stage, especially knowing the hold that like the community has. Content creators, they do a lot for us, and I think that's important. But I don't think the same could be said for Clash Royale. The main driving factor as to why Brawl Stars popped off a few years ago was because of some of the more unique updates that Brawl Stars introduced to the game that was more centralized around community. You know, those community events that got people talking like crazily when they first introduced them, like free hypercharge star drops when we reach a certain milestone. And what that did in hand was actually getting people talking about it outside of the game, like at school, at work. They say, hey, did you see this Brawl Stars game? They're having this really cool community event and you can get this for free. You open those things up for free. I think the biggest one was the 100 free star drops that got people talking. The amount of like just word of mouth that got outside of the game in real life, what you get out of your 100 star drops, added so much to this huge peak in popularity. And in my opinion, that type of reach is like exactly what Jinxy or content creators do for the game. If you get a big enough content creator covering a game, it not only brings in so many new players to the game, maybe people who are just fans of Jinxy watching him, never heard of Clash Royale and they downloaded it because of it, but on top of that, it gets word of mouth out there. It brings back in old fans that played in the past and are like, oh, Jinxy's playing it again, maybe I should try it. And then the whole snowball starts from there. Those people who just picked it up and are engaging with the newer content that they haven't been engaging with in years and enjoying it, start talking to their friends about it, start advertising their game in person, like saying, hey, try it out. You know, that word of mouth is a huge deal. And it's the reason why we peaked in Brawl Stars, and I think largely why Clash Royale peaked with the influence of Jinxy. So it's sad to see, and I understand why Jinxy is feeling bad about this, because he did a lot for Clash Royale, and I don't think Clash Royale understands where the peak even came from, to be completely honest. Jinxy's seeing probably the biggest spit in the face I've ever seen. You can continue on with the paragraph or open up the blog post yourself. Basically, the rest of it is kind of what the Clash Royale dev team attributes the success to, not mentioning Jinxy whatsoever, or just content creators in general surrounding the game. Jinxy was the big wave, but other people picked up the game as well and did so much for the game. Now, the reason I'm talking about this at all is because, like I said, by proxy, I cover a game that's under the Supercell umbrella, right? And it's very rare to get this sort of impact on social media or just in like the video game culture that we have right now to go this big, right? Talking in our niche, like the Supercell niche. We had this tweet reach 103K likes and 9 million people watch or view, right? Not only that, we have literally the biggest creators in the entire world siding with Jinxy and what he ended up doing for Clash Royale and what Clash Royale is now doing in turn to Jinxy. Just kind of out of touch views on the whole entire situation from Supercell in general. We have Mr. B saying, I only started playing the game because of you. If you didn't know, Jinxy actually had Mr. Beast play Clash Royale with him on stream for like so many people watching him. You know how much that does, like marketing for your game to get people playing your game? It's crazy. There's so many other people too. We've got Lacey here, a big content creator out there, also saying things such as, there's a serious problem with the gaming companies not recognizing us creators when we are a pivotal piece in reviving the games. Not even just reviving, just in games in general. Content creators, I think gaming companies need to understand how important it is for the content creators to be playing their game and covering their game. It's literally free advertisement, and when you get content creators big enough, they can literally bring so many players to your game. It's insane. So many other people responding to this, like Stable Ronaldo, another big content creator out there, just kind of outreaching the whole Supercell space. We are getting takes from people who are big. Not only do we have like big content creators react to the initial tweet that Jinxy made, but it also made its rounds on like, what would you call the gaming like news on Twitter, like Dexterdo, like these big like news channels, however you'd like to call them. But we have Dexterdo saying streamer Jinxy hits out at Supercell after they credited Clash Royale spike in players in 2025 to an internal team instead of him. He said the team credited are responsible for killing the game. Mr. Beast, Stable, and Ronaldo and others saying he is what got them into the game. We have this guy who's, I guess, pretty popular on Twitter. Definitely touches on like gaming culture and I don't know what you want to call it. Twitter is just kind of its own thing right now, but he brings up a pretty dang good point. If you guys didn't know, Jinxy has this like reputation around him now for reviving games. Rainbow Six Siege, his main game, Clash Royale, which we saw the big peak. And if you needed any more example, Clash Royale people, if you're watching, take a look at what he's doing with Rocket League right now. Right after his Clash Royale phase and quitting Clash Royale, he hopped onto Rocket League and revived it to its peak player base in years, right? Getting a lot of sentiments like this. I'm sure you guys know Sketch. If you don't, another very big personality on the internet when it comes to content creation. But he's saying not touching Clash Royale until Supercell acknowledges Jinxy's impact. Disgusting to act as if the devs changed the game. That's been the same for years. At Jinxy, I'm done letting you be humble. From Clash Royale, RL, and R6, you revived those games. The only creator to do so and include the community of those games. While also bringing in even more creators, you change lives and deserve recognition and compensation. Numbers don't lie. The Jinxy effect is real. Pay that man. Sketch brings up a really great point. Jinxy is kind of notorious now for reviving games, whether it's his community or just the impact of a big creator coming to like smaller niche, more games. Wouldn't call like Rocket League small or anything like that, but for a game being alive that long, you kind of grow accustomed to your normal content creators, the normal player base. The only real way you can get a wave of new fresh viewership is to get like people much like Jinxy or just come out with a crazy popular update. So if you get Jinxy to play a game, it attracts his viewers to try out the game. Not only that, because there's more popularity in the game because of that, new content creators spring into life, and that snowball effect just rolls down, and it's important. And moving forward, I think it's very important for Clash Royale and just Supercell in general to understand that. Just showing kind of what Jinxy has done for past games and his impact on them. Rocket League, as you can see, past 1 million concurrent players once Jinxy came to the game after a stalemate for over 6 years, which is crazy, just showing kind of what he can do. Looking at just income here, and it looks like Jinxy's involvement, or just like the peak, like the popularity spike that Clash Royale had, attributed to like more income, obviously. But I just want to say, like, especially what Sketch said here, like it's not just like Jinxy comes to the game and just plays it, but we saw a lot of other just like hard work on his end when it came to like his content creation in the space once he got to it, right? Creating like huge tournaments, getting big faces like Mr. Beast, I show speed to the game. He did a lot for the community. It's not just the game he's playing, but he also includes the community when he comes to the game. So it's hard, kind of a gut punch, and I understand why Jinxy is feeling so bad when he's not mentioned at all. And I don't think he even like wanted to get mentioned or anything. It's just the fact that they attributed their success to their own development, right? Some of it can be attributed to that, but it's largely due to the content creators that started to play their game because of Jinxy. But yeah, man, definitely a little bit of a different video here on the channel, I think it's safe to say, but I think it's very important as a content creator just under the Supercell umbrella. I don't cover Clash Royale, but I definitely cover a Supercell game. And I think moving forward, if there's anyone from Supercell watching this, and I'm not as like egotistical to say that people are watching this are crazy like that or anything, but it's important to take note how important content creators are playing your game. I think it's easy to grow accustomed to just having creators creating content for your game, right? After a while, you just get used to it, but their pull and their importance cannot be understated. They do a lot for your game for free advertisement and just creating a important community around your game. That's just what we are here for. That's what we do by proxy. That's what we do as content creators. But yeah, man, I wanted to leave it at that. Let me know what you guys are thinking. If you just follow Brawl Stars and you don't know anything about this, I don't blame you. But I thought it was pretty dang important. But we'll leave you there. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Adios. Take care.